So look at this tiny little guy, 90mm motor to motor. If I drop that down there, you can see very, very tiny indeed. Tiny little 1940 by 3 gem fan props, so even smaller than your 2-inch props. This guy is absolutely diddy. So what is it? Why is it here, and why are we talking about it? Well, this isn't the usual kind of review video thing that I would normally do. This is a bit of a special video, this, in as much as we kind of have a bit of a backstory to this quad. So this is nothing new. This is actually the SPC Maker 90NG, and this was sent to me a pretty long time ago. I know saying something a long time ago in terms of the quad world is, you know, relatively speaking, something that's ancient could be as little as a month old. We all know that, but I'm actually talking about something. I think this was released not long after the Runcam Microswift first came out, so that's back a fair old while. An SPC Maker, I've not had a great time with them as a company, and whenever I've been sent this stuff, it's never ended up making review because I've been so annoyed at them as a company for just... They're just lazy in some areas, and one of the big areas, which was especially the case with this quad, was the fact that no one test flew it, and it was so obvious that no one test flew it. What they did, or what this company seems to do, is just grab all the premium components they can find, and I mean premium. I mean, this thing came loaded with some amazing stuff at the time that still holds up to be pretty damn amazing now, especially for something so tiny. I mean, it came with the Runcam Microswift, as I've already mentioned. Came with an XM Plus True Diversity and antenna receiver. It came with a D-Shot 600, 28 amp, 35 burst per channel ESC that's 2 to 4S ready. Not that you'd want to run 4S through these, because I think you'd fry the motors pretty quick, but still pretty impressive. An F4 omnibus flight controller with a 32 kilohertz gyro, a 25, 100, 200 watt VTX. I mean, the specs were just, they genuinely were brilliant. And, you know, 7500 kV 1104 motors, which again, that's a good choice, because when you're running the smaller props, you want the higher KVs. I mean, it was all looking really good on paper, and hence why I decided to get one sent to me for review. However, when I went to arm this thing, it literally shook itself to death, to the point where you could arm it for a second and disarm, and the motors were screaming hot. I mean, it was super unhappy. And at the time, I remember thinking, this has to be the gyro. I know there are a few reviewers out there that seem to want to blame the frame, but that didn't make sense to me in my head. I think the frame's absolutely fine. I don't see why that would be the issue. It was the gyro that was chosen to go in this, and it just doesn't work with micros and the high frequency vibrations that micros deliver, unfortunately. And all they had to do was take one of their own products and arm it to see there was a problem. And you could say, look, NJ, was this just you? Did you just get the reviewer's curse? It's happened to me before. Well, no, because for some reason, unbeknownst to me, they sent me 3 of them. Yes, I ended up getting 3 of this same model. And you can see the various levels of testing I went to, not only messing around with filtering, but also with adding capacitors. I just tried everything. And my conclusion was, yeah, this gyro just didn't like working in this at all. And it meant the whole package, however desirable and high quality the components were useless. So 2 of these ended up being parts bins. So I just took parts from this to get other stuff working, and, you know, that's the way it ended up. But it was just the other day I decided I was going to take this one apart, and I was looking at it. I was like, you know, this was a complete one. And I thought, you know, I really want to know if something this small, especially with Betaflight being as good as it is now, whether this could actually be a good freestyle quad at 90mm, or whether it would just be a big prop washy mess and be kind of rubbish. I just wanted to know, so I thought, you know what, I'll take that flight controller out, I'll settle this once and for all, find out if it was in fact the gyro, put a tried and tested micro quad gyro in there, which we all know to be the MPU 6000, so I went for a Omnibus F3 Nano V2, and that has the OSD chip, all the good stuff, also does 2 to 4S, current sensor, everything that you need, and it was about 25 bucks. So I thought I'll spend that and we'll see if this thing can actually work. and I threw that in, and well, this is the result. They're like a little gnat. You see the lights on it?
No, it's too light.
What? That flew amazingly. I was so impressed with how well this damn thing flew. I mean, it really screams with these tiny props, but that, I mean, there was wind there as well. There was probably anywhere between 5 and 10 mile per hour of wind, so it wasn't like a completely still environment to fly in. It was absolutely fine. I mean, I guess the only real downside of this frame design is the inability to get too much camera angle tilt. You can see what I ended up going with, but I actually changed this out for, this is a Diatone CCD camera, still 600 TVL, great picture, PAL sensor, and you know, super wide lens, so it meant that I could still tilt this quite far forward and still be able to see everything. So I sort of worked my way around that, but whatever this is now, it flies absolutely amazingly, and it just goes to show, SBC Maker, if you'd been paying attention and you'd actually put an MPU 6000 in this, you would have had one hell of a product on your hand, because this thing flies absolutely awesome. So yeah, I think we've certainly found out that even down at 90 millimeters. I mean, it's all very well me trying to show you how small this is. I mean, let me put this next to the Snapper 75. I mean, look, there's a 1S indoor brushless little whoop style quad, and there is a 3S freestyle frame. I mean, it looks kind of like a mini Blackout. That's why I kind of like it as well. 3mm on the bottom. It's super strong. I've just got, there was just something about this, I wanted to see if it would work, and my god, it does. That's actually really good fun, and I will definitely be doing some more videos on it. I also saw it as a good opportunity to show you a stick cam of me flying with the X-lite, and as I said before, it pinches absolutely fine. I had great fun with it. But yeah, something a little different today, and you know, can I recommend you to go out and buy this thing? Well, no, because even now, even though it's come down from the crazy price they put it at, in fact, I can probably just flick over and show you this if we go here. You can see that that is still, even with the price reduction from 200 British pounds down to 149, I consider that to be too much. And you're still buying one with the same floored gyro in. So really what we need is SBC Maker to listen to someone, employ a pilot for God's sake to test your stuff out, put an MPU 6000 in this, repackage it at a sensible price, and you'd actually have a great product. But either way, none of that is really of relevance to us. What I think was the real point of the video is we can definitely see that a 90mm quad can freestyle, and I had loads of fun with this. I'm really happy with the way some of these micros are flying. So if you want to build a 90mm freestyle quad, you totally can. Anyway, something interesting, something a little different. Hope you enjoyed that, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.